If we did a project within that district, we would have to abide by the regulations of that, that board and the zoning regulations that are specific to that district. We haven't had a project in that district as of yet because it's mostly a commercial district, but I imagine eventually we will. There's also a national registered district in Peekskill, the Fort Hill district, and which takes in a good number of the side streets off of Orchard. And if we were to do a project within that district using federal funds, we would have to do renovations in accordance with the Secretary of the Interior's regulations, and it would have to be overseen by the state Historic Preservation Office.
Now, would you say, are you the type of person then that if a person is involved in this, is the homeowner the one then that has to go in front of the boards and get these permits, or is it the contractor that goes, or are you actually involved in that process too?
What we try to do is to allow the homeowner to get, if it requires a variance, the homeowner has to get the variance themselves.
Right.
But outside of needing a variance, we like to walk them through the process to ensure that we have the proper permits and everything.
So you're very hands-on throughout this whole process. It's not like, like I said, where, all right, fill out the application and we'll see you in 6 months. You're really, from beginning to end, you're really along this. Like, do you have occasional reviews, or where, in other words, you're following the contract, you track the contractor's work to make sure that, it's being done on time, or do you go back a month? Like if the contractor said, in 3 weeks I'll be done with the electrical, and then you make a phone call back 3 weeks and you find out that the contractor never showed up. I mean, does that happen occasionally, and do you have to keep on, so in a sense it's a hands-on, you're really overseeing the project as it goes along.
Yeah. Well,
yes or no?
Yeah. Well, yes. We are overseeing it as it begins and through completion.
Right.
Depending on the job, if the job is going to take any amount of time, the contractor will be paid in 3 installments. And when the work is approximately half done, our inspector would survey the work to see that it's being done according to the contract, and then we could release the second payment. And the third payment is only after the work is done and the inspector has signed off.
Good.
The homeowner has signed off that he or she is satisfied with the work, and when we've received a closeout of any permits that were issued.
I also just wanted to mention, even people that don't receive our grants, they might be slightly above the income. Mm-hmm. By going through this process and showing them how to hire a contractor, that's been also very beneficial to a lot of people that have come into our office.
So as compared to, let's say, maybe before they would just go ahead and say, first person who shows up at the door, you give them the job and not realize that, just by the fact that you bid it out to 3 different contractors, maybe you're getting a more market value type of thing, and maybe, and that way you're getting a better bang for the buck, if you want to call it in that sense.
Right, and checking with Westchester County to see if there are any outstanding reports about the contractor and how many, and have they been settled, because you can report a contractor that has not done the work effectively to Westchester County.
Mm-hmm. And you can get the complaint history.
I see. In other words, if there are contractors out there, so in other words, so the county is not hiring the contractor, or the preservation company is not hiring the contractor.
That's right.
It comes down to the homeowner, but you're giving them the guidance and backup and support. So they say, listen, this one, he's already been brought up on the Better Business Bureau, or there are complaints against him. So we'd recommend not to go with him at this time, and maybe go to the second or third option.
Well, most contractors are going to have some complaints,
right,
naturally, but it's how they dealt with those complaints,
right.
And that's what we talk to about with the homeowners, and we really like to. I think Lynn really likes to bring in the homeowners and really work with them on the process of understanding how to hire a contractor, in a sense, mm-hmm. And then also trying to, even if we can't help them, to let through a grant, to let homeowners know how to hire a contractor. I think that's really important in this process.
Sure, it's a learning curve if no one's ever done it before. You could be dealing with a homeowner that's maybe hasn't done a renovation in 30, 40 years, let's say 50 years in some cases. So for them, it's kind of like a new ball game all over again, and how to start.
A lot of people don't know anyone. They have no resources when they go to look for someone.
Sure. Yeah. And the fact that you're in this, what we'll call game in a sense of, where you're doing this on a daily basis. At least there are contractors, the reputable ones, the ones maybe that are new, but not that they're irreputable or there's no reputation. The fact that you get the first time they come in and do a bang-up job, at least there's almost like a lead to them in a sense that, you say, listen, you know what, they did a great job in this one, and, I'd recommend them, but it's always up to the homeowner then to make the final assertion.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I think Lynn's really established a really good relationship with a lot of the contractors, especially in the northwest region of Westchester. We've had a lot of good contractors.
We have. We've been very fortunate.
We've actually found the contractors to be very helpful in the process.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, some of them have really become resources to the program. People that you can call and just ask a question of, and they'll help you.
So they
without
see
any
they see the benefit to that. It's not only is it that it's more extra work, let's say, for them, or it's work for them, but they realize that if they do the good job, then it only propels them further into this program. So that if there are additional houses or structures that need work, at least it could be a lead for them too. So naturally, it's good faith or goodwill on their side too to start from beginning on the up and up and work their way through on that.
I think so. And a lot of the local contractors are very civic-minded, I think. And
Okay, we're almost at the end. Just a little quick bio, though, I'd like. How did you get involved with this? How did you get started?
Well, I've been in the nonprofit housing industry since I was about 5. My parents were in the nonprofit housing industry, and so I just continued in this role.
Local girl?
I'm from White Plains.
From White Plains. Very good. Lynn?
Well, I'm originally from Boston, but I've been in Peekskill since 1991, and my background is not in the nonprofit world, but my background really did lead me to this type of work and helps me a great deal. I was a real estate agent and broker for many, many years. I had experience doing AmeriCare's Homefront for 3 years. I have a paralegal background and some background in historic preservation. So it all just really helps.
It's almost like the segue. You could see it almost led you right to this. And stuff.
Yeah, it did in many ways.
Very good. Well, ladies, thank you very much. It was for all of our viewers out there. I'm sure everybody was very happy to hear about all the things that the preservation. It sounds like a great home improvement program. This will air 3 weeks, so if anybody's not misses the first one, you've got 2 more segments to watch this. It's really something. The first time I heard about it, I thought it was a great plan. By the way, where is the preservation company? Where are you headquartered? Where could someone reach you?
Our walk-in address is 55 Bank Street, Peekskill, New York, which is on Main and Bank.
Right on Main and Bank.
The entrance is on Main.
The entrance is on Main. It's right across the street from the Workers' Compensation Building in downtown Peekskill?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And let's see. So that's our report for the night. Once again, we thank you. We want to thank our guest, Karen Gordon, who's a program director for the Preservation Company, Lynne Nayman, who's the home improvement coordinator for this program. She administers all the grants and for home repairs. But we thank you, ladies, once again, and continue the good work, all right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Domenic.
Okay, thank you. All right, good night, all.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.